Hello everyone, today we are reacting to 10 Horrible Ways to Die in Jurassic World, Episode 1 by Goji Center. I got nothing to say right now, so let's dive right into it.
Warning, this episode simulates fatalities and graphic scenarios that
Hell
might be
yeah.
unsuitable for some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. We also advise you don't eat red pasta.
Oh,
In this episode, we'll try to
I'm gonna make some red pasta. if only I knew how, right?
figure out one of the most ferocious man-made ecosystems of all time. A set of islands known as the Five Deaths, whose creatures constantly reminded humanity that life will find a way, with destruction and death. Today we will explore these methods of killing in gruesome detail. So sit this one out if you have a weak stomach, because today these guys will show no mercy. Now
Hell
sit
yeah.
back, hold on to your butts, and get ready to witness the new 10 Ways to Die in Jurassic World.
Part 1. Let's go.
This 10 Ways to Die in Jurassic World series will be split into several parts. Today, we will visit one of the islands known for not losing one, but two parks. Isla Nublar, a lush tropical biome that has housed many creatures biologically engineered to be public attractions, and consequently ended up putting these parks out of business. But you know what else they could put an end to? You. Number 1, death with no escape. Perhaps one of the most feared creatures in this entire franchise were these guys, raptors. In Isla Nublar, we witnessed these raptors displaying frightening levels of strategic acumen, communication, and hunting ability. But what makes this specific animal more deadly is the fact that they hunt in packs, coordinating attacks to catch their prey off guard, and swiftly. Now, let's talk about you. Finding yourself alone in the forests of Isla Nublar, with these raptors roaming about, would automatically change your definition to food. Keep in mind that these raptors will always know where you are, smelling you from long distances. Once spotted, a member of the pack would quickly grab your attention by frightening you, but not before another member comes swiftly by, attacking you from the flanks. The weapons found on these raptors are brutal. Razor-sharp teeth on their skulls built for slicing off flesh with ease, and claws that are meant to cut deep. But another one known for doing the actual killing is this guy down here. These big curved claws are meant to disembowel. In this franchise, it's been observed that raptors sometimes attack humans by biting their heads. This violent method of attack can kill in an instant, as it is very likely that this movement will most likely break your neck and peel parts of your face off. Alternatively, these claws could also spill the intestines of an unprotected belly. Oh, and according to Dr. Grant, you are alive. I start to meet you. Next up, number 2, skewered. So you think that carnivores do all the killing around here? What if we told you that if you mess with the big-horned herbivores, there's a big chance this fella could turn you into a hashtag? In Isla Nublar, trach specimens can grow to almost 30 feet in length and weigh up to around 10 tons. In this franchise, we see that these herbivores can pull up on you pretty fast. If you happen to be stupid enough to get close to one of these guys, this animal's massive build will be more than enough to trample you into the dust and process you into ground meat.
I used to play that game.
Alternatively, if
I don't
you're
think
more
you can
unlucky,
play
one of
it
these
anymore,
horns
though,
could find their way
sucks,
right through you if the trach lowers its head enough. The most likely place to get impaled would be your chest, since it offers the greatest surface area for the trach to be able to impale. The width of the base of this horn would be wide enough to make contact with your vital organs, such as lungs, heart, liver, and most likely damage your spinal cord, meaning you would get paralyzed and then die in a couple of seconds. This would have been the most pain you have ever felt. If these horns are capable of factory resetting a T-Rex, then it's safe to bet these things will send your puny behind to go meet your maker. Number 3, blinded and gutted. One thing is getting eaten, and another thing is getting eaten while not being able to do anything about it. Meet the Dilophosaurus. No, not this crap. This Dilophosaurus, the Jurassic Park version. Fortunately for us, there's all...
I mean, like, the one that killed Nedry wasn't fully grown, by the way. At least according to the book. So, yeah.
Already a very popular scene that does a very good job at showing us what these things are capable of doing. In the original Jurassic Park film, we see Dennis Nedry have an unplanned encounter with one of the juvenile Dilophosaurus.
Right.
Yes, this was a juvenile. Or at least that's what we are told. It's also believed that these guys can grow a little larger, but this one didn't need to be.
Right.
After continuously disrespecting the Dilophosaurus, this little guy later managed to spray Nedry with a dose of tar-like poison. This stuff right here is potent enough to do two things: blinding and later paralyzing you, allowing the Dilophosaurus to indulge in your flesh.
Excuse me.
This stuff is most likely made up of a mixture of corrosive agents and neurotoxins that eat through the layers of your eyeballs, causing intense pain
hell
and
yeah.
blindness. These toxins will eventually be absorbed by your skin and make their way to the surrounding nerves, causing paralysis, leaving you handicapped, but not dead. The
Right.
Dilophosaurus will then proceed to delete you from the census by ripping through your abdomen using its array of sharp weapons. Believe it or not, you
yeah.
can still live through this. Had you not been blinded, you would be able to witness the Dilophosaurus rope your guts out until you slowly fade away. Number 4, whipped and pricked.
Nice.
Admittedly, a weapon such as this would do much more than just a prick.
Yeah.
This weapon belongs
Nothing
to the mighty
destroyed that gate.
Stegosaurus, a large herbivore armed with several dorsal plates along its back and 4 deadly spikes ready to impale just about anything. But in this episode, we're talking about you. So what would happen if you ended up being on the wrong end of that tail?
You die.
An animal of this size could swing this thagomizer at high speeds, and combined with the weight behind the blow, this would do more than just send you flying. Let us explain. It is said that these spikes can measure roughly around 2 to 3 feet, long enough to
Damn.
completely impale a human being, but that's not all. Remember that you are also getting whipped by this tail at the same time. A pierce of this tail, combined with the centrifugal energy forced against your pierced torso, would mean that this impact would not only pierce, but rip your torso simultaneously.
Ooh.
Our bodies aren't
Nice.
built to withstand such impacts, meaning that after getting yeeted into oblivion, your buddies will
Ooh.
only recuperate
Yeet.
parts of your ripped, mutilated body. But there's another type of tail in this island built to do this.
Yep, the
but worse.
Ankylosaurus.
Number 5, Mace of Doom.
Damn it.
By now, it should be evident that herbivores on this island have many ways to put you in a coffin.
Right.
If you thought this type of tail would hurt, wait till you hear about this one.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Ankylosaurus is one of the most, if not the most heavily armored dinosaur on the island.
That is just
Pulling
bone
up to one of
shattered right
these
there.
creatures'
Like, your
personal
bones are
space
gone.
is like asking him to turn you into that red pasta that I know you refuse to get rid of.
Yeah, I wish I made red pasta. And I wish I knew how.
Let's find out how. While the exact impact
Great,
force
now I
of these
want
bulky
pasta.
Jurassic
Now I want
World
pasta.
Ankylosaurus is yet unknown, we do know that the real-world Ankylosaurus's tail
Ooh.
could swing with a force
Yeah,
of
fucking
4,800
dislocated his
newtons
foot.
per second. To put this into perspective, getting hit in the head with a bat by a pro baseball player
Yeah.
is a pathetic 13 newtons.
Damn.
Furthermore, these Jurassic World Ankylosaurus flex the ability to execute a whole 360 while swinging this tail. If and when you catch this club to your upper torso, you can expect every single bone in your upper body to get shattered while
Yeah.
spitting out anything close to your eye sockets, mouth, and ears. The extreme inner pressures caused by this club would almost liquefy your insides and most likely empty your bowels, leaving a bloody and crappy mess on the floor that nobody will want to clean up.
Damn it.
Number 6.
That was a shitty way to die. Okay.
Meat-eating bull. Let's
Meat-eating
switch
bull.
gears and go back to the
Carnotaurus?
dinosaurs that will eat you after putting you out of commission. In Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, we were introduced to a ballsy, medium-sized theropod that seemed too eager to bag these people. The Carnotaurus.
Yep.
Now, obviously, we are going to discuss the process of getting chewed and swallowed, but it is believed that this particular carnivore uses different methods to hunt its prey. As
Yeah.
its name suggests, this creature has 2 horns on the top of its skull. Some scientists believe that Carnotaurus actually use these for combat against other members of the same species, and possibly as a tool to knock down its prey. In this case,
Yeah, knocking
you.
down prey,
This
I
would most
understand,
likely
but
happen after an unpleasant
I mean,
encounter with the
I
Carno
doubt these
and
can
while you're
impale
running
anyone.
away. Getting hit on
Look
your
how
back
short
by
these
the
things
Carno's
are.
horned head would cause enough trauma on your spinal cord to possibly paralyze you, but most
Yeah, those
certainly
things
knock
aren't
the air out of
impaling
your
you.
lungs. A smaller or leaner individual would most likely die from the shock alone. So now that you're motionless and without air, the Carno would proceed to clamp its jaws around any limbs or torso, shaking you until these rip off. Realistically, there are many ways the Carno could kill, but we figured this method was the most prolonged and painful. So far, we've talked about ways to die on the ground, but let's take this to the next level.
Nice.
Number
In the air.
7,
Ah,
flying
damn it.
lessons. No park full of dinosaurs is complete without a bird cage. And in this particular enclosure, we find these things, pteranodons. These homicidal flying reptiles are the reason you should start learning to look up instead of just looking next to you. If you happen to catch yourself in the middle of a flock bird party, make sure to stay down. Because once these guys pick you up, just know the next time you hit the floor, you probably won't be alive to see it.
Right.
As you can see here, the human build happens to be perfectly shaped to get picked up by these creatures. Anatomically speaking, we kind of fit together like a puzzle. These giant birds have wingspans that can measure over 20 feet and can flap their wings with enough force to pick up large prey such as you. Getting picked up is not the worst part, since it's portrayed in 2 films that these creatures usually contest for their prey while airborne, meaning that your soft, squishy, defenseless body could be fair game to get impaled by these long beaks. These come with very sharp tips that are capable of piercing deep into an unarmored victim. But let's say you're lucky enough to not have this happen to you, and you somehow let yourself free.
Yeah, you'll
Back
die
to
from fall
unlucky.
damage.
Number 8, Quill Kill. If you watch the Netflix show Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous,
I still need
chances
to
are
get
that
on
you
that.
are acquainted with this dudette, the Scorpius rex. This animal did not appear in the films, but it did here. Its name is inspired by one of its genetic contributors, known as the scorpion fish. These fish's spikes, if pressed on,
Oh, yeah, I
can
remember him
release
talking
toxic
about
venom
this.
that could potentially kill if left untreated. This attribute was migrated into the Scorpius rex we know today. These quills were the culprit behind the death of some dinosaurs in this park, and additionally the reason why these dinosaurs started acting more aggressively. But what if you get hit with one of these? In one of the episodes, this girl was actually hit with a few quills. Fortunately for her, she didn't die. Although she technically should have, since this wound was near the spleen. Realistically, however, getting hit
That's the power of plot armor, Goji.
in any of these vital organs, especially on the chest, could cause internal bleeding, and if it was on the heart, immediate death. Not to mention the effects the toxins would have on your body. Other immediate shutdowns would be caused if you got hit in the eye sockets, near the jugular, or nape. Realistically, this animal is more than equipped with other weapons to catch bodies in Isla Nublar, but we will leave the biting to the one who does it best. Number 9,
T-Rex.
Crunched to
Isn't it?
Death. If you've seen one of our other 10 Ways to Die in Skull Island episodes, you will recall that there were animals with jaws capable of biting right through a human torso. But this island has a creature that will put them to shame. You know who it is. The Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yeah.
Or this one, more commonly
Rexy.
known as Rexy, is the T-Rex that roamed this island for quite some time now, and fed on a couple peeps before. But how does it feel to be eaten in such a manner? To study what these people felt, we first used this guy as an example. As we can see, the manner in which the T-Rex clamped her massive jaws
The poor guy couldn't even take a shit.
around this guy left this dude's legs hanging out. We know that a T-Rex has a tremendous bite force,
Right.
but realistically, the T-Rex wouldn't have the need to exert all this bite force on a small human, or else he'd be cut in half. Rexy, in this case, would want to eat the whole carcass. Look,
Yep.
you wouldn't bite a hot dog as hard as you can, right?
Right.
Yeah, because you don't have to. A subtle bite would have sufficed. What this dude felt, however, was anything but subtle. T-Rex have 6 to 12-inch teeth with small serrations to aid in cutting. These would immediately pierce through a human torso, but you wouldn't be dead just yet. In order to die completely, these teeth would have to pierce the head or the heart. Right now, this guy is in immense pain. I mean, Come on, you can still see him swinging his arms everywhere. What kills someone in this position is the imminent blood loss, which will come around in a few seconds.
Right.
The violent shaking would first proceed to tear ligaments, stretch muscles, and break even more of your backbones. So we can guess this dude died just before finally getting swallowed. Bet this was the first time someone walked you through a T-Rex bite.
Yep.
Number 10, hunted for sport. In these previous methods that were discussed, you were put in a coffin because 1, you were stupid and got too close, or 2, the dinosaurs were just hungry. We're about to discuss an animal that will put your life insurance to work just because it wanted to. For fun, that is.
Either the Indominus or
The Indominus
Indoraptor.
Rex is arguably
Indominus.
the most powerful dinosaur on this island.
Yeah.
Created
And the thing is, she isn't even fully grown. Imagine how big she would be if she were an adult.
to be bigger, faster, and stronger than the T-Rex. This immediately told us that talking about how this animal could snap you in two would just be a waste of time.
Right.
So instead, we want to talk about how this thing could literally manhandle you until you die. For this section, we will be focusing on a very strange and significant attribute found on this creature. An opposable thumb, which is defined as a digit which is capable of being moved freely and independently. This is what allows us and primates to grip onto things and manipulate them.
Right.
Now, we have seen that the Indominus can actually pick people up similar to how you would pick up a water bottle. These hands are huge and strong. The constricting effects of getting picked up by the Indominus would not only scare the feces out of you, but will make it more difficult to breathe. The Indominus would proceed to raise you up to its mouth, where it would bite the upper part of your torso right off, and then drop you. Why? Because this guy kills for fun. What else can these do? Getting this guy to throw hands at you will only result in you getting impaled by these long and very resistant claws. Given how smart and cruel this animal turned out to be, we could get very creative with the ways this dinosaur could end you.
Oh, yeah.
But we will stop here before YouTube Guidelines decides to stop this channel from existing. To
Yeah, fuck you, YouTube guidelines. And especially fuck you, Susan.
prevent this, please leave a like and subscribe so we can continue to bring this disturbing content to your feed. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you on the next island.
Alrighty. Okay, that'll do it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, later.